Hey everybody, in this video we are going to be taking a look at the Claws of Night. This is a new addition to the claw weapon category in Shadow of the Erdtree. I've got these upgraded to plus 10, which is max level for this weapon, so we'll take a look at the stats for that, as well as go over the moveset and skill that it comes with called Scattershot Throw. I'll also talk about some build and item enhancements that you can use with this weapon, as well as show some gameplay in both PvP and PvE so you can see what it looks like in action. But first, before we go through that, in case you don't have this weapon yet, I'll talk about the location and how you can get it. So this weapon can be found in the Cathedral of Manus Metter, which is where we're at currently. If you don't know how to get here, you can take the tunnel that's found in Morth Ruins down to Bonnie Village, and then just basically follow the path up to the cathedral. So once you're here, this is partly involved with the quest line for Ymir. I'm not going to get into too much detail with that, so if you need resources on how to get through that quest line, there's, you can look online. But as you progress through that, he'll typically be sitting on this throne. At a certain point, he gets up and moves off of the throne, which allows access to push that back and give you access to this ladder. So once you have all that done, you can take the ladder down to the next part where the actual weapon is found. Once at the bottom, you'll now have access to the Finger Ruins of Mir, and you will be invaded by an NPC called Anna. Once you defeat Anna, you'll get the Claws of Night as your reward. Now taking a look at the stats and info for the weapon, I've got the base version on the left and the plus 10 version on the right. This is in the claw weapon category and comes with both physical and magic damage, but also includes blood loss buildup as well, as seen in the passive effects. So in total, you get 3 different damage types, which is pretty awesome. However, as you can see, this is a pure dexterity weapon, with that being the only scaling attribute you get. This increases to a B once fully upgraded, and in terms of requirements, you need 8 strength and 20 dexterity. So with this in mind, my character is pretty much maxed out in dexterity. I have it at 81. After that, you don't really see much incremental benefit, so ultimately that's giving me an additional 223 physical damage and 144 magic damage. Moving over to the skill Scattershot Throw. So this is a ranged attack, and as you can see from the description, you employ smithing arts to conjure multiple copies of the armament in both hands and throw them all at once. You can also follow this up with an additional input to throw again. Now going through the moveset of the weapon in both single-handed and two-handed mode. This is one of those weapons where in two-handed mode you pull out a second weapon as opposed to two-handing a single weapon. So I'll show some damage output for each of the attacks so you have some context of what the output of those are. The other thing I'll note is that the damage profile of this weapon is a bit unique in the sense that the strong or heavy attacks are kind of the weaker of the two. So if you're trying to do damage, you kind of want to stick with the regular attacks. However, the strong attacks have this ranged aspect to it, as you can see there. Alright, so starting in single-handed mode, we'll do the regular attack combo, which is a 6 input. Then we've got the strong 2-hit combo, the strong charged follow-up combo, the rolling regular, rolling heavy or strong, backstep regular, which is pretty cool, backstep strong. Then we got sprinting regular, sprinting strong, jump regular, and jump strong. Now moving to two-handed mode, where we pull out that additional weapon. Going through the same sequence, we've got the regular attack combo, which is again 6 inputs. The strong combo. Charge strong with a follow-up combo. Then we got the rolling regular, rolling strong, backstep regular, backstep strong, and then we've got the sprinting regular, sprinting strong, and then finally the jump regular and the jump strong. And then taking a look at the range of the strong attacks. So I will say this is a little bit inconsistent with the damage, depending on the number of projectiles that actually connect with the enemy. But just some general range. So obviously at this range you can hit pretty much everything. And then as we back up, about right here is where you lose contact. However, if you switch to the strong or the charged attack, that has some further range, so we can go even further back. And let's see, as you can see, the damage drop off is starting to be a little bit inconsistent. So about right here is where you lose. So I would say this is about the maximum range that you can get with the strong. And then obviously if you're not doing the charged attack, you have to move up a little bit. And then finally taking a look at the skill Scattershot Throw. So this is kind of just an enhanced version of the ranged strong attacks that you can do. And you can do 2 inputs total. So you can do the first input just like that, which is 11 FP. Or you can do 2 inputs total for 22 FP, which is just a follow-up attack as well. Looking at the range of the skill, similar to the strong attacks, the damage is going to be a little bit inconsistent depending on how many of those projectiles actually hit the enemy. But if we look up close and see the damage of that, and then we start backing up a little bit, so you can see already a bit of a damage. That was a blood loss hit, but a little bit of a damage drop off. And if we get back far enough here, see where we can find the limit. So, nope, still a little further. So about right here. So a little bit more range than the charged strong attack, but still, this is about as far as you could go with this skill. Now taking a look at a build that I decided to go with for this weapon, as well as some additional opportunities that you could use in terms of item enhancements. So ultimately, this is what I have. There's a few things that I maybe would change, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I did have the Lord of Blood's Exaltation Talisman equipped to get additional damage bonus once you get that blood loss hit from the weapon. Similarly, once you get a couple attacks in using that combo, you can get the damage bonus using the Rotten Wing Sword insignia. Next is the Shard Alexander to get damage bonus off the skill. That was primarily for PvP. I found, and I'll show that in the gameplay, I had to rely on that quite a bit, just because it was a bit challenging to get up close and personal with those claws, so using that ranged attack came in handy quite a bit. And then finally, the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, just for some defense bonus. So in terms of talismans, the other one that I probably would have been interested in adding is the Magic Scorpion Charm. So that's the magic version of these guys. I missed that, unfortunately, on this playthrough, but that just adds a damage bonus to the magic damage aspect of the weapon. And then similarly, there is the White Mask helm that you get from Vade in the base game playthrough. Again, I missed out on that one as well and locked myself out of getting that. So that increases additional blood damage. Basically the same concept as the Lord of Blood's Exaltation, but it does stack on top of that, so you get an even bigger damage bonus if you had that equipped. And then, so that's kind of that. And then for the Wondrous Physic, I do have the Magic Shrouding Cracked Tear in there. That's kind of like that Magic Scorpion Charm. It increases the magic damage aspect of the weapon. And then also, just kind of wrapping things up, you can do things like Golden Vow to do some incantation buffs to just get some further damage as well. For some damage impact comparisons, so the regular attack combo with nothing equipped ended up doing 7,580 damage on this guy in front of me. So we'll get everything, all of our buffs active and whatnot, and see what the impact of that is. So attack this guy real quick, get that blood loss, build up, drink the Wondrous Physic, get our Golden Vow, and then we'll go in and do a regular attack combo here. So that increases to 11,899. And then if you do get a blood loss, if we get a blood loss, so then you also do get the benefit of those large blood loss attacks like you just saw as well. Similarly with the skill, we'll get all of our buffs active here and see what the damage impact of that is. So originally this did 3,496. So that increases to 5,992. However, if you keep going and get that blood loss hit, so that increased to 9,344. All right, so that was an overview of the weapon as well as the build that I decided to go with. Now I'll just show some short clips and gameplay footage, both PvP and PvE, so you can see what it looks like in action. All right, so wrapping things up, those were the Claws of Night in Shadow of the Erdtree. Overall, I think it's a really fun weapon to use. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Can be very powerful, particularly that it's got 3 different attack types. It's got physical damage, magic damage, and that blood loss buildup attack, which can put out a ton of damage as well. If you've ever wanted to play as Wolverine in Elden Ring, this is the weapon for you. The one sort of caveat I would say is that I did struggle quite a bit trying to use these in PvP. Ultimately, I kind of started out trying to get mainly just direct claw damage, and because it's so close range, it was really difficult to get into somebody's space and sort of put out damage. However, once I started really heavily relying on that skill Scattershot Throw and just sort of chipping away at people and using that quite a bit, I found my success rate went up pretty dramatically. So I think it's sort of a combination of again, sort of using that ranged attack to sort of chip away, and then when you see opportunities to really get in there, then you can put out a lot of damage with the direct claw damage. But overall, yeah, I had quite a bit of fun using these weapons. Enjoyed the moveset, and again, just sort of using claws, sort of Wolverine style is a lot of fun. So if you enjoyed this and thought it might be something that appeals to you, I think it's worth taking the time to maybe get the weapon if you don't have it yet, and then invest upgrading it. So I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and we will see you later. Bye.